By the way, I do have a stock to recommend to you guys and to look at. I do, believe it or not, I do market research, and I know it's a stock, but we have to be open to these things and going forward. So let me just preface this by saying before I pull it up, and this person is a staunch crypto person, even the name, who I'll remain nameless because he is faceless. Some of you will know who I'm talking about by that. To hear him saying it's time to start getting into stocks because these companies that are heavy into AI, and I've been saying for a while, the AI coins, they're not going to ready. They're not ready yet. The money's flowing into real companies producing AI tools that have customers, and as we know, customers, believe it or not, are good for business, and that's where the money is flowing. These AI tools, they're competing against real world AI companies. So even though Fetch has merged and they're the Alliance Supercomputer Alliance, whatever that is, I don't think they really are going to do much. They might have an end of cycle pump, but I don't think the real money's going to stay there. And just remember, 99% of these are pure speculation and fairy dust. If you remember, what was it, the Wolf of Wall Street? It's a woozy, it's a wazi, it's fairy dust. That's what most of these are. And let's remember that and internalize that because when things are flying and we're all in a euphoria phase, we forget that. And we did last cycle. I did. Everyone did. So we want to be very quick to get out, like the squirrel in squirrel theory, getting close to the bag of chips. Bags full of chips, looks too good to be true, but the slightest movement, run away. We want to be the first squirrel to the bag of chips and eat as many as we can and then leave because it's the other squirrels coming late that are the ones gonna get, then they're feeling comfortable, they get over there and then the chips are all gone. I don't know. Hope that makes sense, you guys. All right, let's see. So based on that, let me tell you the stock, and then we'll go into some of the coins. But there's not much happening. It's a sea of red, and there's nothing to look at here. This is a stark reminder how fast things can turn around. So let me just kind of scroll through things. I'm not going to look at any meme coins. Anything that's up. Hyperliquid's up today, so that's on topic. And is it breaking all-time highs? Okay, well, that is worth noting and is notable. And well, this spike up here, reality, the all-time high was here. So basically, it's broken all-time high and retested. And so Hyperliquid, you can of course buy it on hyperliquid.xyz, I believe it is. We're not really using or recommending KuCoin, but anyway, it's not much. Everything's red here. And so with that in mind, let's kind of check out some stocks and check out our basket. And maybe we'll look at some speculative degens. Sometimes buying on pullbacks is the way to go. I will pull up ETH here. ETH is, look, I've been saying for a while, ETH is in a heavy sell block, and total market too, also showing lots of selling, and that would be predominantly dominated by ETH. I don't think this thing, I think it probably needs to pull back in here. If it does push up, then it's more like this. It's going to retest. I'd rather buy it at 3,000 or above into strength, but I don't know. I'm not sold on ETH right now. Solana, I think, is stronger. Owning some ETH probably makes sense. Chainlink, lots of sellers, nothing happening there. Compound, same thing. Compound had a bit of a pump here. We'll come back to that. So look at all these AI tokens. Terrible charts, lots of sellers. Point is, these are I've sold all of my AI tokens, and you guys can do what you want, but I think that they have to clear these sell blocks, and it's going to be later in the cycle if they run at all. When people are taking profits. The big problem is that we haven't really talked about in this class, where in previous cycles, retail was driving the Bitcoin movement, and then they were selling their Bitcoin into altcoins because it was the house's money. This cycle is largely driven by institutions and bigger players who, by their bylaws, it's a little clumsy, but legally and really, they can't buy anything but Bitcoin or regulated ETFs, and so that's why MicroStrategy has done so well. A lot of these big corporations that even can't buy Bitcoin yet, but they can buy a public company that's regulated by the CME. You see where I'm going. So when the bull market starts to top out, they're going to go into stable coins and just get out of the market. They're not going to be buying shit coins. They're not going to be buying your 10 cent coin from last cycle. So if you're holding on to those, be prepared. The opportunity cost of holding on to those may be greater than the potential loss, and I can't really advise you on that unless you want to drop one in there and we'll look at it. But a lot of these I wouldn't be holding right now. Maybe they'll come around. I just think these AI tokens, certainly they'll pump at some point, but I will want to be taking profits and selling that. And that was the video I was watching earlier today. I forget who she was, one of the videos, and she was just saying that this rally is to be sold, sell into the next rally. And now she was talking broad market also, but I think certainly a very skittish market, and everyone's trying to time the top. So we don't want to be holding on to everything, trying to ride it till the last dollar. Fetch coin, AIOZ, all of these hitting sales resistance, hitting seller resistance at the 200-week day SMA, and maybe they go, but I'm not ready to buy any of this. Fetch coin, probably has a double in it, 230%. Maybe it goes even higher up here, but let's see. I think I want to see it break above these kind of resistance levels before we start talking about them again. ALI is one of our early coins and projects. Obviously it's sold off. These are ones to hold on for long term. I think ALI has 10x potential if it goes back to the old high, but it's kind of gimmicky. It's animates NFTs. Is it ever going to get there? I don't know. We'll watch this as well. We do have probably a trend line resistance, and on some of these things at this point, I would be taking my original investment out, certainly if it comes up to these old levels or like this. So if we get a 4x from here on ALI, some of you might be holding that. I would set your alerts at 26 cents, 25 cents. Sell at least as much as your original investment. Wait for a pullback, and then if you want to buy it long term, these are some of those that could be interesting long term. I don't think NFTs are dead. I just think this whole market needs to mature a bit. INJ also hitting a resistance zone, and I'm going to make a mental note of that. I've been buying INJ throughout here, showing some strength, but I don't know. These markets seem awfully tepid, and Polygon Matic not doing much here. I said we were going to get to the stock, and I'm just sort of going down the line. The Filecoin, look, I still like Filecoin. It is still putting in higher lows slowly, and this has potential for 2x to 40x, so I'm going to be doing the same as things like this happen, taking my original investment out. So whether it is, I have to zoom all the way out on this, I think maybe what I'll do is just redraw this a bit and give it a little more realistic trend line resistance. And so you guys can do these things if you're chart challenged. It's a good time to learn while things are quiet. Filecoin I still like, and but I wouldn't go heavy on too many of these. I wouldn't be betting onto these secondary ones like Storage, JKL, RLC. They're all going to go up maybe a little more, but down a little bit more. So be careful of that. Helium obviously took a bit of a dive here. It's almost where I'd be buying Helium again, you guys. Down in these ranges, I would be putting buy limit orders in on Helium. We have a nice chart on that. I would say right at $2.65. And so if you have not yet practiced using buy limit orders, it's a great way to get filled at great prices, and then you just sort of, you don't even have to be near it. And these things typically bounce quickly. So basically what that means is you're in profit almost right away. And that way you have more leeway. If they start to roll over, you can still sell into profit. Okay, so order, buy limit, order, buy. It's repetitive, but it says basically put your buy limit order here. Note to myself, doesn't mean you have to, but I think these are those risk-reduced trades where we buy low, sell high. Imagine that. Has a nice low, steady channel. They have a good distribution channel. Not clear if they're going to stay on their own blockchain yet or not, but it seems that it would behoove them to get back on the Helium token. Maybe our old miners probably won't be worth anything, but they're making moves. Their network is valuable. If you go to their website now, it now has IoT for Internet of Things, and then has their mobile network and the mobile token. When things slow down, I'm going to probably pick up a mobile miner and start mining some of that stuff. ICP, I've been hearing some good things about ICP. I might not be a big fan of it, but I don't know. I'm hearing some good things. I like the chart, higher lows. It's under accumulation. This is 101.5x here, probably. Let's say 1.2x to this resistance area, and probably see pullbacks and then go. But the name of the game is buy low, take your original investment out, park it somewhere else to buy into something else or Bitcoin, and just let play with the house's money here. Don't go too heavy. I don't own any ICP right now, but I would consider picking some up at this level. All right, Metaverse is just not there yet. Burn Universe, BRN, chart looks terrible. None of these. It's the same thing with Metaverse. They're not. They're a long way away. In a land far, far away, maybe they will work. Long time from now, but even looking at the metaverses, they still look like Atari did when it first came out. In fact, Atari is one of the big landowners in the metaverse, the big ugly block saying Atari, and that should tell you a lot. It's not cutting edge technology. There's no incentive to go play games in the metaverse. Even Meta is kind of backed away after changing their name to Meta. So again, customers good, no customers not good. Hey, this is Brett from Moonstream. If you'd like to learn more about our pro trading signals or our live classes every Wednesday or our Retire Rich program, go over to moonstream.io/start.